How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about some potential news about the Atlus franchise and certain games they might be releasing. So, New Games Plus Expo is going to be on June 23rd, 2020. So that's just next month. And Atlus is going to be there. Now, Atlus wouldn't go there for absolutely no reason. They're going to be there to release some game or some trailer for some game, or just to announce anything about their games in general. That's what these things are for. So there's multiple things this could be, but according to some industry insiders, Atlus might be teasing a reveal for Persona 6. Now, just with how the franchise is, Persona games tend to take a long time. Yet, however, Persona 5 has done so well, there is a good chance they're going to be streamlining a brand new Persona 6 game. Persona, which is just a spin-off technically of Shin Megami Tensei, has done better than any other game that the Atlus company has came out with so far, especially with the reinforcement of how positive Persona 5 and Persona 5 Royal is. Over 40% of Atlus's sales so far has been in the Persona 5 series, not even including the other Persona games. So they have gotten such a huge overhaul of success with the Persona series. I wouldn't doubt if they would tease something, but I still do not think this is within another couple of years till we'd even start to see Persona 6, seeing as how they just released Royal, which seems like they might have just finished the final touches on the Persona 5 games. They've already done the Persona spin-off with a dancing game. They've already done other dancing games like the Persona 3 dancing game. The only thing I can think of is maybe another fighting game, just including the Persona 5 characters potentially, just like they did with Persona 4. So there's a chance we might get something like that in the future, which might be something they're announcing, but supposedly they're going to be announcing Persona 6 at this New Game Plus Expo. I would not be surprised if maybe they just gave us something very, very, very small to show this. Maybe they'd just be like kind of how they have been with Bethesda with the Elder Scrolls series, talking about Elder Scrolls 6. So they're like, hey, we're making it, no gameplay or anything else. We're just telling you basically, yeah, we're making it. It's going to be a long time. And honestly, I think they should take the time they need. I know those people at Atlus, they work very hard. And just seeing with how they are with their games, they like to take their time and make sure that the game is fully fledged out before they release it, which is why it was delayed and it takes so long to dub the game and have it come overseas and whatnot, so who knows. Which brings me to another thing with dubbing. Persona 5 Scramble, we have still yet to have seen that. This New Games Plus Expo, which is going to be taking place in June, is mostly just Japanese developers, so I wouldn't be surprised if they potentially said some news on Persona 5 Scramble releasing in the West. We have not gotten a release of it. Seeing as how Persona 5 Scramble is a direct sequel to the Persona 5 games, it would be nice seeing that how Persona 5 has ran its course. Persona 5 Royal has now ran its course. People are playing it. They're going to be playing it all throughout the year. It'd be nice to finally get some news on Scramble and maybe even see Scramble at the end of this holiday season. That is something hopefully they're going to be doing. And there's also, of course, talks about other Persona games possibly being on Switch. They have already, from what we have seen, Atlus has gotten the rights and have trademarked certain names for their Persona series, like Persona Remaster, Persona 2 Remaster, Persona 5 Golden. Certain words that obviously they might not use. Obviously, just like Persona 4 Golden, they already had the copyright to Persona 5 Golden, but I don't think they took that. Instead, I just think they insinuated that, hey, let's just have this as a placeholder name. If we want it, we have it copyrighted. We don't have to use it, but that's there for us. They obviously went with Persona 5 Royal. I wouldn't expect a Persona 5 Gold at this point. That would just kind of look weird. But potentially we might be seeing some of these older classic Persona games on Switch. Honestly, a lot of people are wanting Persona 5 Royal on Switch. I'm one who says, you know what? We've been playing that so much recently. I think it'd be nice to get one of the older games. Obviously, I want Scramble out first. I'd love to play that because I want to see the sequel to the Persona 5. I've played it so much already. I beat Persona 5. I am currently going through Royal right now. I would love to, at the end of the year, to have Persona 5 Scramble, and they might be potentially talking about this June 23rd. So hopefully we get a little details on that and when that releases, and hopefully we get some more info on potential remasters. Not only would it be nice to get some of those older Persona games or some of the current ones on Switch, but it'd also be nice to get some of the older Persona games on console or even PC. A Steam release would be pretty insane. I'm not 100% sure how that would go. Hopefully it wouldn't be taken by Epic hopefully released on Steam, but I would really like to see them branch out. They have a whole PC audience that cannot get the games because they're set to console and whatnot. So I would like to see something like that. It's not like Atlus to branch out to Western companies. As you can see, they've mostly been with Sony and just Nintendo, Japanese companies, but Persona is getting bigger and better, and it looks like they're trying to release games more frequently as well, and their company's getting more money, they're getting bigger. I wouldn't be surprised if they start pulling some new moves on us and showing us some different things and start doing some different stuff. They released a game on Switch. That's enough to say, hey, they're open to releasing games on Switch. They put Catherine full body on Switch. That's something there. There's a good chance we might see some of the other Persona games put on Switch. I think it'd be easier if they went back and took Persona 1, Persona 2, something like that, bundle them up, put them on Switch. That'd be really nice to have Persona 1 and 2 on a cartridge on Switch. That'd be really fun. Persona 3, 4, and 5 then maybe down the road end up getting on Switch as well. That'd be a big dream of mine. That'd be something that'd be super cool. Well, we can't just talk about only Persona here. We also need to take a look at some other potential things. Shin Megami Tensei 5. That's been teased, yet we don't really have much about that. And I know the Shin Megami Tensei people and the Persona people, they fight a little bit, because they're kind of like, which one's mom and dad's favorite child? Is it me? Is it him? Which one's mom and dad's favorite child? I think that's just because the Shin Megami Tensei series hasn't quite gotten to get into the limelight, hasn't gotten to get to mainstream yet, which some people might not want that because I think they kind of like how it's not super mainstream. It's out there, but not super mainstream. But I would like to see a Shin Megami Tensei game as well, not the Persona series. I would really like to see one of those games as well, maybe even on Switch, maybe on console. Either way, I think it'd be really cool. And there's other potential chances that Persona isn't even something that's going to be talked about at all at this expo, which I'd be surprised, but there is a good chance they might do something like that. With the whole thing that's been going on recently with the whole world, it might have been hard for them to dub right now. There's a good chance that Scramble couldn't get dubbed. They couldn't put the English voices on the game because they just flat out were not capable of doing it. That might be why we're so delayed. They might give us some news on that, but there's a good chance we might not even get anything Persona related to this. Who really knows? They might also just be talking about new IPs and new games that they're doing for the new 2020 season and forward and going on. There's a good chance Atlus is just going to be talking about some of their different games instead. So, who really knows? I bet they would talk about Persona, something Persona related, hopefully. The most easiest thing that I think of that they could probably say is something about Scramble releasing in the West and the rest of the world. I think that's the most easiest thing for them to say. That's the most non-explosive thing, like, oh my god, Persona 6! I think that's the most easiest thing they could probably say. And if you don't know what Persona 5 Scramble is, it's the game released on Switch. Thought I might just say that and point that out as being the sequel. Hopefully we end up seeing that soon in the West. We can only see Japanese gameplay, and it's kind of rough on us if we don't know how to speak Japanese, so it's pretty difficult, but I'm really looking forward to this. I really want to know what they have to say, because there's a good chance that they haven't been able to say all the things they've wanted to. There hasn't been any big gaming conventions recently, so they might not have gotten the chance that they've wanted to talk about and say certain things. There's a good chance if they plan to release something this summer like Persona 5 Scramble, there's a good chance they might say, hey, it's coming out like July. And it's just coming out that soon because they hadn't had the chance to announce it. They don't want to blow their chance to actually have a good initial release, an initial trailer for this game somewhere else, like in an event, because they didn't want to just be like, hey, it's coming, and it was just like from some advertisements or tweets, and it wasn't actually from like an actual event where lots of people can get news coverage of it. This is actually very smart on Atlus. Who knows? We might see a lot. We might not see much at all. We might see stuff about Persona. We might see stuff about other IPs. Maybe Shin Megami Tensei. The best thing that I would want for this, the best outcome, the most potential outcome I could possibly see from this is something about Scramble. I've said that a million times. I'm just really hyped. I really want Scramble really bad. There's a good chance Persona 5 Scramble is going to get some type of coverage. Possibly what's going to be happening in the West. Hopefully Shin Megami Tensei is talked about. I would love that to be talked about. And I'd love to see a new game on console, potentially on Switch. Even if it's just on console, that'd still be dope. I would love to see something like that. And something about new IPs. I bet that would be the most likelihood of things happening, with then at the very end, something like Persona 6 is in development. That's very Bethesda of them to say. Actually, you know what? That's very Atlus of them to say. Because Persona 5 took a long time as well. But you know what? It's understandable. I get that. Game companies want to make the best product they possibly can. But, yeah, I don't know. That's... It'll be interesting to see what happens whenever we get towards this thing on June 23rd. So, guys, stay tuned. I'm going to keep covering this. And thank you for the support on the past videos. I just really want to see what's going on here and whether or not these industry insiders are just trying to stir some craziness about talking about Persona 6. Obviously, that's what people want, but it seems too good to be true. It seems way, way, way too early. We're just now getting off of the Persona 5 Royal train, and most of us really aren't. Just the diehard fans are probably the only ones who completed the game so far already, especially in the West. I don't really see that being a thing. We haven't even gotten Scramble yet in the West. So for a Persona 6 thing, I don't know. I doubt it's going to be trailer. I doubt it can't be anything like a trailer or nothing or gameplay. Definitely not gameplay. That's just way too early. I do not see that possibly being a thing. Just from knowing the jump from 4 to 5, it took so long. I don't really think that'd be something that we're going to see. Persona 6 just seems way too good to be true to be something they're talking about. If anything, like I said, it's going to be like Bethesda did recently. Persona, or Elder Scrolls 6 is in development. Here's a title card. No gameplay or anything else, obviously, and whatnot. I think that's pretty much what we're going to see if they end up doing anything like that. I'd say it's too far in development. You could argue that the jump from Persona 4 to 5 is actually different, seeing as how they did focus on a lot more new games like Catherine in between, and they did change game engines, because you can see the jump from 3 to 4, they are similar, but from 4 to 5 in Persona series, it's a big jump. New models, new engine. They made Catherine in between, and they were focusing on a lot of other things, and they also ended up changing directions after, from what I hear, a long while of development. But that's for another video. Basically, during the development of Persona 5, they ended up getting those big hurricanes in Japan. You might have heard that in the news. And they ended up just kind of cutting what they were doing. It was supposed to be an open world game. They ended up changing just to there in Japan. And yeah, they had a lot of different changes going on. Ended up getting probably the best game we possibly could, with this game mostly getting just 90s in terms of the best, like 90s out of 100 in terms of how good this game is. And I completely agree. Especially with Royal. Like, Royal is close to 100% in terms of JRPGs that I could say. Either way, I digress. I am somewhat rambling on here, but there's a good chance we might see something Persona related. It might be Scramble, but hey, either way, I think anything they announce is still going to be good. It just depends on how big of a bombshell is it going to be. I think a lot of these industry insiders are just kind of stirring the pot a bit, because the Persona train is pretty hot right now. But yeah, it's hard to say. It really is hard to say. But let me know down in the comment section below, what do you guys think? Is it too early? It seems way too early to me. But then again, maybe the jump, maybe Persona 6 is way easier to develop. Maybe they've mastered this new engine they've been using, this HD model engine that supposedly took them a long time to develop from 4 to 5, that it took them a long time to do. Catherine was just a test, an HD model test. Not a lot of people realize that's what it started out as and became a full-fledged game. That technically was supposed to be the next Persona game, but they ended up going different ways with it. But either way, thank you all for watching this video. Like, comment, subscribe for more content. I'll always keep you posted on the most latest and greatest Persona news. Thank you all for watching.